Hello and welcome to Pokemon TCG Center. Today we'll be looking at battle between me on the right and my mate on the left side. So we are playing the Legacy format. If you're not familiar with that, it's from the Hard Gold, Soul Silver base set up to the Legendary Treasure. So basically I'm playing Genesect with Virizion and Celebi, and my friend playing Emboar with the Reshiram and the Rayquaza Legend. So basically, the game number one is underway. So I'm starting with Deoxys and he's starting with the Reshiram. So I just top deck my Virizion, if you didn't watch that. So there's Escape Probe for the Virizion, and there's a Professor Juniper for Colorless Machine, Professors Oak, New Theory, and Execute. Execute with Propagation is definitely one of the best cards in the Legacy format, because basically you can play Ultra Ball with two Executes for free. The same things apply for example, for the Junk Arm. So there's a propagation for Ultra Ball. So Ultra Ball for Execute and Colress. I guess I searched my deck for Genesect. Genesect is definitely a good card. Basically, with your Deoxys, you can hit for 110 that Reshiram, and basically next turn you can just play Catcher on the other Reshiram and hit for 110 that Reshiram, active Reshiram, and knock out one on the bench for 20. As you can see in my friend hand. So he basically have Floatstone, Mewtwo, and pretty much nothing else. Death Draw. Alright, so there's a Skyfield. So with the Skyfield you can actually have one retreat less, and that can help you a lot. Energy onto the Genesect, and this is a plasma energy. So basically with that plasma energy you can use Red Signal, which says that you can actually use that ability on the Genesect like Pokemon Catcher. And there's a Ultra Ball for that Jirachi. Actually I decide to not play Propagation, Execute. I just decide to go straight away with Ultra Ball for that Professor's Oak New Theory by discarding my Super Road and Grass Energy card. And Professor's Oak New Theory actually give me fresh hand of the 6 new cards. There's another Virizion, and I just passed the turn. So he just top deck Heavy Ball, and basically with that Heavy Ball he can't search his deck for nothing, so he just passes the turn. On the other side I have a chance to hit with my Emerald Slash and to power up my Genesect with 2 more energy cards, which can actually bring me some heavy start right there. And I actually managed to find that Getsis and shuffle my friend's cards, 3 item cards back into his deck, and there's Emerald Slash for 50 and 2 energy attached onto the Genesect. When you're playing against Reshiram, you need to be very cautious because so he passes his turn again, but at least he managed to find that Portrait Smurgle. You need to be very cautious, as I mentioned it, because Reshiram can just easily knock out your Genesect or Virizion because you are weak. If you're not familiar with the Smurgle on the left and the Portrait actually says that you can look at your opponent's hand, and if you find any supporter there, you can play it as the effect of the Portrait. So there's another Emerald Slash for 50 more damage, and 2 more energies is going to be attached onto the Virizion, so just in case I suffer the knockout, I can just easily go with another Emerald Slash in the late game if I really need that. But also I'm playing energy switches and the Shame with the Forest Bread, so actually I can remove those energies to my other Genesect. And there's Professor's Oak New Theory for my friend, so he's playing it for the 6 new cards. And as you can see right here, not the best hand, I should say, definitely that, but there's a Magnemite and the Floatstone, so there's a good chance that he can actually play Floatstone on the Reshiram retreat, use Portrait. That's the case that I would do, but yeah, there's a Floatstone, and it's probably going to be catcher, maybe. Yeah, definitely there's a catcher, probably for nothing. And let's see what he can get with another energy card attached onto the Reshiram, and he's going to hit me right here for the 100 because with the silver bangle and outrage that's 50 damage, but since the Virizion is weak, that's 100. I'm drawing one card. As you can see, I have Junk Arm in my hand, but I also have a Pokemon Catcher. There's a Random Receiver. I'm looking for supporter card. There's Professor's Oak Theory. So basically, with this Virizion Genesect deck, you actually have a lot of chance. You have actually a chance to hit turn 1 with your Genesect for 100, even 200, which is definitely very huge play. If you can start with a Celebi, with that Celebi actually have the ability which says that you can attach with Celestial Wind or something like that. Not 100% sure what's the name of the ability. I should definitely check that. But you can attach one energy. Force Breath. Actually, Force Breath is effect of that card, which says that you can actually attach one grass energy to any of your benched Pokemons, and then you can just play another grass energy for the energy attachment. As you can have one per turn, and with Colress Machine you can search your deck for a Colress Plasma Energy and attach it to your Genesect and do a lot of damage. So there's a Junk Arm for the Escape Rope, and I forced my friend to play Escape Rope. He decided to promote his Reshiram. I'm probably going to hit right here with my another Virizion, so yes, that's the case what I do. For the knockout, and I can also attach 2 more energy cards. There's a Max Potion, so I decide to scrap my 100 damage from my Virizion, and I can just easily... there's a Bicycle for 2 more cards. Bicycle says that you can actually draw cards till you have 4 in your hand. Yeah, there's another Junk Arm. So actually I do a little misplay right here, but I totally forget that I have Execute in my discard pile. Sometimes that happens. In the late game, in the game number 3 and 2, I actually placed Executes on the top of my deck, so I can actually play it very often. So there's a Junk Arm for the Super Road. So I actually played Super Road for 2 energies and Genesect, so I can just attach it back to my Virizion. So I should say definitely very good play. There's a Magnetone from that Magnemite, and pretty much, as you can see right here, Portrait for pretty much nothing, and he just decided to retreat down to the Reshiram and hit for the 100. That's the best bet that he can do. Then again, it's my turn again, and there's a red signal. I'm going for knockout over that Magnetone, so basically I can just shut down his ability, and there's no chance that he can actually do pretty much anything. And another Portrait is going to be played, but lucky for me, I didn't have any energy or something like that, so there is a Reshiram attack for 120, and because of that weakness it's 240, but luckily I managed to find another Genesect, so I can play a Forest Breath from for that Celebi effect. I can play Energy Switch for that Genesect, 1 energy, and basically if I can find something like Colorless Machine, I can easily... So there's a Colress Machine. I can easily have that Genesect charge in the single turn. Actually, I can't use my Red Signal because Red Signal is just affected when you play your Plasma Energy from your hand. And there's also Tool Scrapper, so I can remove that Silver Bangle and I can hit for 50 with my Virizion. It's better to go with Virizion because I just don't want to take a risk right there. Hitting for 50 and outrage for 20 more, it's 70 damage, so even with the damage it's 100, and even with the weakness it's 140, so it's not even close for the knockout on that Virizion or my Genesect, and next turn I can just easily go for the knockout over that Reshiram with my Genesect on the bench. So we can see the first Pignet just hits the ground and retreat down to play that Portrait. Unfortunately, I can't play, he can't play Portrait because my hand is empty, so he just passes his turn. I have enough again right there to hit with my Emerald Slash for the 50. So that's just happened. Smurgle is knocked out. And Pignus just hits the ground, as you can see in his hand. Ultra Ball, Fire Energy, Emboar, and Superior Energy Retrieval. So definitely very bad draw for him. He just played a single Professor Oak New Theory on turn number 3 or something like that. And he can recover from that. I mean, if you can find something like a N in a Legacy, you can end down your opponent to 1 card, you can set up, and actually with the weakness, you can just pretty much easily win this matchup, but we shall see that. So there's another Ultra Ball, probably for another Reshiram. I'm not 100% sure, but I would assume that he searched his deck for another Reshiram. So no sign of Jirachi. And yeah, pretty much Reshiram number 2 for the bench. If there was Jirachi, that would be just easily Ultra Ball for Professor Sycamore, maybe even for N, and that would be a whole different story. So he just passes his turn. I'm drawing 1 card. I can pick between going for the knockout with my Genesect or just hit with the Emerald Slash. The problem is that I don't have another resources, so I need to be very cautious about playing it, but actually I decide to retreat and hit with my Genesect 400 and spread 20 damage to another Reshiram, which is actually enough for next turn for the knockout. So he just scooped and it's pretty much GG.